Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, October 27th, I think, 2020. Sorry, it's been more than a year since I've recorded one of these. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Doing okay during COVID and everything. I won't bore you with just life, but I'm sure you guys, as I know, understand. So I was very busy traveling last summer, and I never really got back to not only on track but getting ahead doing this new habit. So it still hasn't really become a new habit, but maybe hopefully it will be. I've kept up with a little bit with videos here and there, kind of checked in every so often and trying to get back on track because I really missed watching them and seeing everybody's activity. So I'm on a different computer. I had to have a laptop swap situation in our household. My husband teaches college, and he of course is teaching from home now, and so he needed to take over the good laptop for that purpose. So my backup laptop, I just haven't been able to get the computer to be able to keep up with recording video. It is out of sync and the freezes and stuff. So I'm using my iPad. So that's what makes me constantly want to look away from the camera and look at the screen, because I don't know if it looks a little strange. Sorry about that. So anyway, I won't try to catch you up on any crafting for the whole year. I did complete a couple of the really big, important to me quilts I was working on last year and got them done and gifted at and around Christmas time. I was very excited about that. So I may share pictures of those just on the blog at some point. But I'll just do a normal, this is what I'm just finished this week and what I'm working on now. So just this weekend, I finished a couple of mini quilts for my sisters-in-law. Hopefully I can be back far enough. This is one for one of my sisters-in-law, Rachel. She's super into Supernatural, the TV show. So this is a pattern from Bandom and Stitches. And I think this might be the size it comes in. Or maybe I blew it up to 200%. I honestly can't really remember. I guess I blew it up some, and it's a normal, like a 12-inch square normally or something. This is maybe about 20 inches square, I think. So I'm so excited with I'm always excited with how the Bandom and Stitches patterns turn out. They just come together. They just work out. It's so great. So I think she's going to love it. Supernatural, the TV show. I don't know if anybody else is into it, but it's gone on for 15 years and it's ending this year. So I really wanted to get it done so I could give it to her before that ends sometime within the next month or so. So on the back, I just put the little pockets for hanging and did a little label down here. Oh, it's backwards. And this is a fabric I got from online, from Spoonflower, that's got symbols from the show Supernatural and stuff. So I just need to wrap that up and give it to her. It isn't for an occasion. It's just because I haven't really made her anything like that. We don't really gift a lot in my husband's family for all the holidays, not between adults. So it'll be really nice too. But I just have always sort of wanted to make both. My husband has two sisters, so I always want to kind of make them something. So this year was the year for my other sister-in-law, his other sister. I made this Bigfoot mini. It's from an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. I don't know the name of it, but that's probably enough information. She has a pattern to do a whole quilt, so a lot of trees and one Bigfoot somewhere in the quilt. And she specifically gives instructions on how to do just like one Bigfoot and one tree as like a pillow or something. Since it's a pieced pattern with very specific instructions, these are just triangles and so on, it isn't something that's easy to size differently. You'd have to do math, and quilt math is not maybe something I really want to do unless I absolutely have to. So I just did this the size it comes in. So it kind of ended up kind of big. She's going to have to use it as a table topper, or it's going to take up kind of a big amount of wall space because it's about 24 by maybe 30, 31, I think. So that's a pretty big wall thing, since she already has a house she's lived in a long time. It's all the art she really wants. So I don't know what she'll do with it, or if she won't even do anything with it. But on this one, just in case she does want to hang it, I did put hangers, you know, where she could slide something in to hang it. And I did a little label for that one. It says, I believe is the name of it. And this also, I got Bigfoot fabric for the backing from Spoonflower. So I don't normally spend a lot of time on Spoonflower. I'm kind of cheap, and the fabrics to be printed, you know, with just exactly what you want on exactly which kind of fabric you want seems, you know, they seem very pricey to me, so I don't usually do it. But for these particular gifts, I really wanted to for whatever reason. So hopefully I'll get to gift both of those. Very excited about those. I have been working on my Star Trek Fandom and Stitches quilt along quilts. I made 2 at the same time. One will be gifted to a friend of mine who's a big Star Trek fan, and one will be kept by me. So those are, I've prepped them. The tops are done, and I've cut the backing and the batting, and they're in a stack to go get pin basted sometime when I have time. But they're not now that we're heading into the holidays, and they might get set aside so that, because they don't need to be done for the holidays for this friend. So I now have other priorities to make things for the holidays instead. So a couple months ago, I had a big phase of embroidering t-shirts for myself. I really like to, now that I work at home, it's totally informal, which is since why for the last couple of years I've been able to color my hair instead of and I don't have to dress formally or anything. I can be in my pajamas. I started having a lot of t-shirts, you know, able to buy more t-shirts, but I hate to spend a ton of money. It's hard to buy t-shirts that say great things and are like funny or about your nerddom, your fandom, and hope they still fit, especially in plus size. I feel like it's maybe even more difficult. Maybe it's just as difficult for everyone. I'm not super sure, but I find it difficult, that's for sure. So you order a size and it's just not comfortable, especially if you prefer like ladies fitted style tees and they're extra sized down in the end, and so you really have to try to plan well. It's hard. So I started ordering a bunch of plain shirts and embroidering them myself. So I made this one. I don't know if you can read that. It looks backwards to me on the screen, but it says Soylent Corporation. Good food starts with great people. Or great food starts with great people. I just thought it was funny. It's from, you know, the old classic sci-fi movie Soylent Green. So they've been turning out so well. I just have done a bunch. A couple had actual like Urban Threads prepped machine embroidery designs, but a couple I just decided on some wording and printed something on them. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of those for myself, but maybe even for other people now that I'm a little more comfortable. I was really nervous about embroidering on knit fabric. Knit fabric's not something I'm very comfortable with. And even embroidery has been something I've been slow to become more confident with. But I have a newer embroidery machine in the last year and a half or so, and it's just so good and so great. So this shirt that I made for myself, which says Society of Obstinate Headstrong Girls, Seriously Displeasing People Since 1813. It's to do with Pride and Prejudice, if you're not familiar. I wore this in front of my cousin, who's one of my best friends, and she loved it, but she does not wear t-shirts that have anything printed on them ever. I asked her if she would want it on something else, and she said yes, I would love to have a tote bag with it. So that's a Christmas plan. So that's going to be coming up soon. I'm just got to decide on like a style of a tote bag. If I'm just going to wing it or, you know, do like a nicer one from a pattern, do something like structured and quilted, or just, you know, something nice. And then she is a knitter. So I have in the past made her plenty of project bags like the zip and things like that. In fact, that's probably what I've made her the most of, just very simple project bags, but with a gusset maybe at the bottom, but otherwise very straightforward, usually maybe with something embroidered on it or just cool fabrics. So I think this time an actual tote, she said tote, so thinking something larger with handles that she could use for lots of different purposes and carry around with her to, you know, when she has to take something to people's houses is better. So I got to pick and design that, plan it. And then I'm in a real planning stage. I just made my Christmas list this last weekend. So that's on it. Making either a tote or maybe a t-shirt for my sister is on it, but I gotta decide what design. And also I'm gonna sew some placemats for my mom. I'm just trying to decide if I'm making her just one set or a couple of sets of placemats, because at first I was just thinking holiday placemats, but then she obviously only has them out for a little while and has to put them back away. So I can probably get 2 sets done. It's only my mom and her husband, it's only 2 of them, so I could theoretically just make 2, but she does occasionally have other people over, and she does have a table with 4 chairs, so if she were leaving them out to sit decoratively, she would probably put 4 out. And it would look funny with just 2 at her house. So I got to decide. That's probably what I'll work on right away this weekend. I hope to start right on that. So that's kind of what is going on in my sewing room. And otherwise, my husband and I and our 3 cats are all okay. We've been safe during COVID. And the people closest to us, it has hit us. I do know people who've been sick, and I do know one person who's passed away. So it's definitely a scary time out there, but we both have our jobs and both have our health, and so do all our immediate families. So we feel lucky. I hope you guys are safe, and I look forward to watching your videos.